Welcome back, I'm Captain Xavier, and rather than Lego by the book, I thought I would do a video on how I have my Legos stored. This video will cover just the bulk brick. Minifigs, minifig accessories, and a lot of all of the specialty stuff is stored separately and differently. But people keep asking, how do you sort your Lego? How do you have them, what categories do you have them in? Do you sort them by part type? Do you sort them by color? Have you seen Adam Savage's video on sorting his collection? Yes, of course I have. So I'm going to talk about how I have mine. Now, when I first got into Lego, of course, they were all just in one big bin. It was actually my steamer trunk. It was actually the gnome's steamer trunk from when she went off to college. She bequeathed it to me. It became my Lego storage, and then eventually I sorted them by color. And then once I finally had my own place where my collection was big enough, I sorted them into part type, which is what we have here. I acquired a bunch of these Sterilite drawers on sale from Walmart, I think, and it was exactly the right one to get because they keep showing up at Goodwill, and that's why I have so very, very many of them now. And they all lock together, and they come in big drawers and small drawers, and it's pretty much perfect for this. So that's how I do it. I have my bricks separated into 12 categories, or at least some of them. The black, dark gray, and light gray, as well as white and red, have been separated into this many categories. Some of the other colors I don't have as many of, so they haven't been as sorted as much. But let's go take a look at the gray because I think it shows up best on camera, and we'll go over all of the categories. So I have 3 categories just of regular plates. Anything that is 1 stud wide is in the small drawer on top. Then we have anything that's 2 wide, and in the grays I actually have them stacked by size, though I'm starting to do that less and less. Then anything that's wider than 2, so this is 3, 4, 6, I think there's at least 8 at this point, probably more that I just haven't seen yet. Those are all in there, and those are, again, stacked, and that actually is very, very useful. I should do that for the other colors. Then bricks, all the bricks that are 1 wide, and they also were stacked at one point, but the collection has grown and I haven't bothered to stack them, they just got tossed in there. And then all the bigger ones that are 2 wide, and the really big ones, these ones are 10 wide, and there's 4 wide, and stuff like that. Then we get to a category that is just other, and this is just the weird stuff, radar dishes, and ladders, and hoses, and saw blades, and everything that doesn't fit into any of the other categories nicely, just gets chucked in here, which is always a fun one to dig through when you need some obscure part. We then go back up to more regular stuff. We have inverted slopes, whether it be boat holes or just regular inverted slope stuff. Regular slopes, whether they be the 45-degree angles or curved ones, they all go in there. We then have a certain collection of modified bricks, so bricks that have studs on the side and turntables and hinge pieces, the vent looking stuff, modified bricks. Then we have modified plates, similar collection of random stuff, the plates with holes in them and whatever you want to call those, hinge plates and all of that sort of stuff, the ball and socket plates and axle plates and stuff like that. Then all of the wing plates is what mostly is what's in here, and I have them again separated, stacked right and left for a lot of it, not all of it. The slightly tiled ones, the big round ones, they're in here. The big grates, they fell into here just because it was all larger stuff. And then we have Technic beams, arches, and angled bricks all ended up in a category because there was enough of that to warrant its own category. And like I said, gray, light gray, dark gray, and black are all separated into all of those. White is separated into all of that except for the arches. There weren't enough of those, so they just have their large parts. A lot of things like that, and parts of airplanes and large bits. Same with red. Red is currently missing a category because there just wasn't quite enough. There was enough that I needed to separate it into more, but I haven't fully sorted them all out. Like, I haven't separated the inverted from the regular slopes yet. Yellow and blue did not have enough to get separated yet, but those will probably be the ones that go next. Probably blue for sure, it's getting really full. Brown has been separated into the darker browns and the lighter browns, but they don't have as many categories either. They do have slopes and inverted slopes for the darker brown. The dark brown includes, obviously, the regular brown color, the dark brown color, and the dark red. The maroon I decided to put under brown rather than red because red had all of the pinks. So that was how that went. Light brown is all of your tans and your sand colors. Orange goes under yellow. Purple goes under blue. I don't have it separated to that many different colors because there's so many of them now. And then green's over here by itself. A lot of this was fairly arbitrary. I just decided, yeah, this one belongs in this category and this one belongs in that category. And wouldn't be surprised if it's different from color to color, where I forgot which way I'd chosen halfway through. There are then the large parts, the big saucer bits and the rock wall stuff, castle walls and turrets and tower bits. More rock, castle walls, staircases, big doors. Big plastic wheels. And then all of the rubber wheels. I know a lot of the really professional builders separate things into far more categories than I do, and often do it by shape rather than by color. Just because it's really easy to spot when you have only a particular shape in a drawer. It's easy to spot the ones that are the colors that you need. When you've got 1,000 different shapes with, you know, a drawer like the miscellaneous. I'd love to get like that a lot more granular, but I just don't have the storage capacity yet. We will see. But there is still a lot of digging through drawers looking for a particular part, and I enjoy that. It's a lot. It doesn't take as long because of the categories that I have chosen, but it can still take a while when you're looking for a specialty plate or specialty brick, which is why I have larger drawers that I can pour that into and be able to sort through it a lot easier. Someone else asked me what are those white trays that I have, and those actually were from the came with the sweater boxes that I used to store all my parts in when they were just sorted by color. Each color was in a sweater box, and some of the larger sweater boxes came with those little trays, and while I've gotten rid of all but one of those sweater boxes, I can actually have fabric in them now. I kept the trays because, as you've seen in the videos, they're incredibly useful for sorting parts into. So that is how I have my bulk brick sorted. I'm sure you could get into all manner of philosophical discussions about which categories I chose and whether I've sorted things into the right categories, and you can feel free to have that debate in the comments. I'm not going to upend my entire system because of something somebody suggests, but I do have other parts sorted a lot more granularly, like all of the tiles of black, gray, and dark gray are sorted out because of how often I use them in the castle, because of how everything comes apart. It was just easier to separate them all out and not have to look through them. And there are other things that I'll probably do similar things to, because I do have a lot more drawer space now because of what I've got set up here. So yeah, there you go. Hope this helps some of you in your sorting, and I hope some of you found this interesting. I will go into more. I will do more on how I've got my minifig sorted and my minifig accessories, because those are actually pretty cool. So stay tuned for that, and thank you for watching.